What's going on, folks? Zeek here with another banger of a video, one that could potentially bring you peace and tranquility when navigating through the worldwide cluster of clients. So recently I released a video covering my new toy, the LilyGo Tea in Bed. I also showed you guys how to build a custom theme for the device if you're utilizing Boost firmware on it. Now, after rewatching the video more times than the actual view count, by the way, if you haven't checked that video out, please do so after this video. Also, like this video and that video, and I promise to continue to pump out juicy content for your entertainment. Back to the problem at hand. So anyways, while rewatching the video, I saw the bit where I was compressing my lovely custom PNGs, and then an ad of two dudes kept popping up. And then more ads, and more ads, and the dudes again, and I had enough of it. So, what I have for you today is a simple sub $40 DIY fix that is supported with tons of tutorials on YouTube, Reddit, and magical nerd thread rooms that we all enjoy. I promise you, this project is so easy that even a 12-year-old could do it. And I'm not kidding either. My kids are still on winter break, and I'm glad you had a good and Merry Christmas, little Timmy, but those presents weren't cheap. If you like free Netflix or my affection, well, I'd like to compress my files using a conversion service without a couple of dudes testing the strength of their Dollar Tree mouthwash in the background the whole time. One's green and one's blue, pal. Your breath still stinks. Speaking of something that stinks, ads. Ads stink, and I want to help you get rid of them. No ads on your phone, no ads on EasyGift, no ads on your internet test speeds. I'm talking no ads, people, at all. Well, maybe not on Netflix. I can't do anything about that. Or YouTube. Okay. Less ads. Follow me. So if you haven't guessed it already, we are going to be adding Pi-hole to our network. Now, Pi-hole is a network-wide ad blocker that works at the DNS level. Instead of blocking ads inside your browser, Pi-hole blocks ads before they ever reach your devices. So how do ads find you on the internet? Well, the same way you drive down the street and you see a cheesy lawyer slogan on a billboard, that's the same way that third-party ad servers pay websites and apps to load their content so that they can deliver targeted ads based on your device location and browsing activity. Those same third-party ad companies or servers utilize data tracking, which collects your information like the pages you visited, searches you've created, clicks, and device IDs to build profiles used for targeted advertising. Pi-hole intercepts DNS requests and blocks connections to known advertising and tracking domains, preventing marketing servers from ever reaching your device. Let's visualize this. So I wanted to go to easygift.com and compress PNG files. When I type this search in my browser, the DNS request is sent to my router. My router then asks another DNS server, hey, do you know where easygift.com is? And then that server tells me, their website server is 78.46 blah, 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 blah. So now I find easygift.com and I'm like, hey, can I use your service? Now, before EasyGift loads their resources to my screen, we have to remember, EasyGift and the Mouthwash Bros made a deal. The Mouthwash Bros, they want me to watch their show. But luckily for us, we're going to install Pi-hole. And Pi Guy don't play that. Yeah, that's right. Listerine on this side, bruh. Alright, so let's talk about what we're going to be using for today's build. I'm going to be utilizing a 3D printed case, a 32GB SD card from Walmart, heatsink that came with the Pi kit, a micro USB cable, and the Pi itself. So before we begin, we need to open two things on our browser. The first one is going to be the Pi Imager installer. And then you're going to be selecting the operating system that you're installing your Pi Imager on. Once the download is complete, we're going to go ahead and install the application. While that's installing, we're going to go to another browser and open up the Pi-hole documentation because we're going to need that later. Alright, so now we're going to open up our imager, select the Pi we're using. For the OS, we're going to be using the 64-bit Bookworm Debian. Select our SD card, enter our host name, make sure our localization is set, username, password, and SSID. This is to connect to your Wi-Fi once it's booted. Alright, enable SSH with password. Right. And let that cook. And once that's all completed, we're going to go ahead and finish, and it's going to automatically eject our SD card. Alright, putting this together is super simple. SD card is going to go in the SD card slot. Heatsink on top of the CPU and the rest of the system in package. And then in the case, but we have a problem. And we fixed the problem. Alright, so we are at the point where we are ready to apply power and configure our Pi-hole. If you made it this far, congratulations. Very, very happy that you stuck in there. We are almost done. So let's go ahead and grab our unit. We're going to apply power to the first micro USB port. You'll see the flashing green LED indicator. We're going to set that down and go back to the virtual side. Okay, so obviously our ISP and equipment might differ, but I'm going to show you the breakdown for myself. So I use Ubiquiti equipment. We have my ISP, which is going to be bringing in the internet to my router. The router is going to bring that to my switch. From my switch, it's going to go to my access point, and from my access point. And then I'm going to click on my Pi-hole, click on the gear icon. Here I can select fixed IP address. I'm going to enter the one I want, hit apply, and then move on to configure the rest of my unit. Alright, so we're going to kick this thing off with a good old sudo apt upgrade and sudo apt update tac-y. Once that's completed, we're going to go ahead and reboot. We're going to jump back into Pi-hole documentation, the getting started tab. I'm going to select installation, and then we're going to copy the curl bash command, paste that into the terminal, and let that install. Okay, full transparency, after this point on, I struggled a bit on my own, but I was able to figure it out. It wasn't because I was inputting the wrong steps, it was because I stood up my own network and I didn't understand IP theory, but I looked up a couple of videos from UniFi or Ubiquiti IT, I forgot which one it was, but anyways, really good video tutorials. Here's a template of the breakdown of what I was looking for. It kind of matched what they were teaching. Really good stuff. But anyways, we're going to move forward through the installation and get to the admin page. So if you remember this installation complete page, this is actually what we need to log into our Pi-hole administration page. And once you do that, check this out. Look what happens once you point your networks towards your new Pi-hole DNS server. Oh, sorry Kakashi.